flight in a really long time, and I'm flying with Air India today now, newly merged Air India, even though this is a flight operated by an older Air India aircraft, one of their first A320neos. And right now I'm headed to the Air India lounge as a newly minted Maharaja Club Gold member. So let's get to the lounge, have a coffee, and then go to the gate. Let me quickly show you some of the food that is on offer for breakfast at the Air India Maharaja Club Lounge. Now, keep in mind that the Maharaja Club Lounge is not operated by Air India. It is a lounge that is operated by Delhi Airport themselves, much like the other lounges inside the airport. There's a lot of food on offer, from South Indian upma to keema and boiled eggs, which is what I had. The coffee machine, however, was out of beans. They did refill it, but I had to rush to the gate because boarding had already begun by then. The lounge offering is quite decent, but the food hasn't changed for months on end. But before I knew it, it was time to go to the gate, which thankfully wasn't too far because boarding had already begun. Finally on board VTEXM, a nearly 7-year-old A320neo, one of the earliest A320neos in Air India's fleet. This has still not been upgraded, it's still got the newish Recaro seats. I'm in the exit row. Flight to Chennai means I need the leg room. So, let's get the Air India experience on this flight. There we are. That's the view outside the window. Exit row windows tend to be a bit dirty, but I can see some Vista planes parked on this side of the pier now. There is some issue with seating at the back of the plane, and some people are arguing. Let's see how this turns out. One thing that is new on Air India since the merger with Vistara on the 12th of November is this new safety card. I also saw this on my return flight, which was using an old Vistara aircraft. Much more detailed, much larger safety card on board the plane now. Fairly detailed as well. No gimmicks, just plain safety. It also turned out that the fight at the back of the plane between passengers was because a foreign passenger wanted to sit next to his son. They had been split up. Now, the child was there and the entire family had been split up. This is not allowed under Indian law, and I don't know how this happened. And I'm very sympathetic to the foreign passenger, but I don't think he should have taken over that seat without first talking to the crew or the passenger whose seat he took over. You can't just occupy a seat without first informing the other passengers. So I'm a bit sympathetic to both sides over here. Anyway, soon afterwards, it was time to take off. And I really have to find out why exit row windows are so much dirtier than regular windows. The window was so dirty, in fact, I did not shoot a takeoff video. You can watch any of my other videos for a takeoff video. Soon after we reached cruising altitude, breakfast was served. As you can see, breakfast over here was an omelette, a hash brown, some tomato ketchup, as well as a fruit yogurt and a bread roll with butter. Decent meal, nothing to write home about, but a full hot meal, which is very useful on a long flight like this. Looking out the window, there wasn't much of a view, not just because the window was dirty, but because we were flying through high altitude cloud at 35,000 feet. So I sat back and I wanted to try out the new Vista bring your own device entertainment system on Air India. So let's take a look at that. Now, first things first, I tried accessing byod.airindia.com, the site for the Bring Your Own Device Air India in-flight streaming system, and I got this error message, and that was the biggest problem over here. Now, of course, through advanced settings, I can go to the site by forcing the browser to go there, but a majority of people will probably see this error message and not use the site at all. Now, the reason for this is because the server and your device are both offline and they cannot do a SSL handshake properly. It's a bit technical, but Air India can easily update the safety and security certificate of their website by turning on the IFE system online once on the ground. This is a problem. Now, of course, I went through the system, then after that, I played around with the system. There is a lot of content, more content actually than the old Vistara IFE system had, Vistara World, that was called. It's still there. I noticed it on my flight back, which was on a old Vistara aircraft. Of course, there are some TV shows as well, both in Hindi and in English. The English shows are your standard Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, and so on and so forth. There are movies in a whole host of languages, from Hindi, of course, Hollywood. You have Bengali, Tamil, and Telugu movies as well as some Punjabi and Marathi movies if you go in through the system. There is a lot of choices. Also, a moving map on the system, which I really enjoyed. Now, the moving map, I must admit, there was one little problem over there. Very often, when I had this system on airlines, when you have it on an in flight screen, I tend to listen to music while looking at the map. Now, when I tried playing music through the IFE system while the map was on, the map cut out or the music cut out. It doesn't allow you to do two things all at once, which is a slight flaw. But of course, the biggest flaw remains the site is not secure message. So that is something I believe Air India should correct immediately. However, if you find yourself on a flight with the Vista in-flight streaming system, please know that you can go through advanced settings and go visit the site and access all the content over there. I trust Air India enough to know that they won't be doing anything really bad with my device. I mean, I hope to trust Air India that much. But please do repair this small issue, Air India. It'll do you a world of good. As some of you might know, on the 30th of November, Cyclone Fengal made landfall close to Chennai and flights were cancelled and airport operations at Chennai were halted. I flew in a few days before this, but you could feel that the cyclone was coming. The approach into Chennai was very bumpy and definitely very cloudy, even at low altitude. Over here, you can see that the slats are open. The wheels had already come down by then, but you can't see the ground. Visibility was really, really poor. But kudos to the pilots who are flying in. You've seen some videos of pilots making some very dramatic approaches into Chennai and go arounds as well. So kudos to the pilots for flying in such extreme conditions. And also kudos to the authorities for taking proactive action and shutting down flight operations at Chennai airport. So all in all, how was this flight? 2 hours 40 minutes, and when you include the fact that boarding and deboarding the aircraft, almost 3.5 hours on board this aircraft VTE-XM. Very good flight, but the Vista in-flight entertainment system does need some repair. Of course, I had the exit row seats, so lots and lots of legroom, nothing much to complain about. uh, the food was okay for a breakfast. I did go to the lounge and had eaten a bit before, but on a 3 hour flight, you do feel very, very peckish. Uh, Air India still has some little things to do. For example, let's fix that security issue on Vista. And well, looking forward to flying Air India again. Be flying them very soon to Bangalore, I believe. So there's a lot more stuff coming up with Air India. Let's see how the merger of services between Air India and Vistara goes. This is Kushan Mitra saying thank you, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more awesome aviation and automotive content.